Hey everybody, this is Jairus with Water Ski Company. I have a guest with me, Cole McCormick. Today's video is sponsored by Miami Nautique, and just be sure to go to their website. They got all the top of the line gear and skis and ropes, handles, all the accessories. They also sell boats, so go check out their used boats and their new boat inventory. So, like I said, today we have a awesome interview with Cole McCormick, pro water skier. Cole skis for Team Canada. A little bit about Cole is, Cole he kind of had a breakthrough year last year. Finished fourth at the Swiss Pro. Last year he finished third at the Hilltop Pro Am, second at Malibu Open, seventh at the Swiss Pro, and seventh at the Mastercraft Pro. So amazing breakthrough year last year. Cole's obviously doing some amazing skiing. Just having a great year this year as well. Fourth at the Swiss Pro earlier in the year, fifth at the Masters, qualified to the LCQ at the last stop at Jack Travers. I believe you had a runoff for that, right, Cole?
Yeah, we ended up having a fun runoff in some not so excellent conditions.
Yeah. I think I remember that one being a little windy. So that was really exciting. The LCQ got you into Masters, and then had kind of a little weird bobble at 4-ball at 39, I believe, and you ended up finishing fifth at the Masters, and then you went directly over to Lake 38, which was last weekend, and finished fifth there. So obviously you're off to a great start again this year. Also, Cole is just a little bit about Cole. He's a 6-time national champ. He's got 2 trick titles, which I don't think a lot of people know. You're an amazing trick skier as well. 2 slalom titles and 2 overall titles. So a lot of big stats behind your name before you even became a pro skier. So that's huge. You're also a 2016 under 21 Pan Am champion. So this is Cole McCormick. You want to introduce yourself a little bit, Cole?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what do you want me to say here?
Just say hi to the audience, I guess.
What's up, guys?
Well, all right, Cole. So let's get into it, man. How's your year been going? Obviously, I just went over like your podiums and your finishes. So like, how do you feel like your season's been going?
I mean, I feel pretty content with how it's gone so far. It's, I mean, obviously I've been pretty close to being higher than what I am now. I was close to winning the Swiss Pro the first time. We're getting there. All the hard work that I did this winter, changing a bunch of stuff, it's really paid off, and I can feel it, and everyone I'm sure can tell. So
nice. Yeah, no, it's amazing skiing, man. The 39s have been really consistent, which is huge. So what's next after this? So you just finished Lake 38. What are the next tournaments that people will see you at?
Well, there's not any big tournaments for a while. With my full-time job, I can't really afford to take off time to go over to San Gervasio and the Boda Ski Pro-Am. I wish I could, but it's just is what it is. So the next pro tournament for me won't be until August. I'll be at the U.S. Open, so I'll see everyone up at U.S. Nationals, and then the following weekend I'll be up in Washington for Hilltop. So those are kind of the next 2 big tournaments. Till then, just a few record tournaments here and there. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So for the skiers out there that aren't, they are pros and not pros, but like people like you, skiers like you, they have to work a full-time job and compete at a very high level. Like, how is that work ski, like work-life balance between skiing and working? Like, is it hard? Just tell us a little bit about how you approach it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a time suck for sure. I love skiing those, so it's worth making the time. So kind of, how my day looks is I wake up. I work from home, so I'm usually online starting at 8 o'clock, and then I'm there until at least 4, sometimes 5, and then as soon as I'm done, I basically head out to the lake, get a ski set in, and then depending on if it's a gym day or not, I'll head to the gym after that. And usually I'll get home right around like 7:30, something like that, and then have dinner and then right to bed. So not a lot of time for much else.
Yeah. So it's just rinse and repeat basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, my winter was pretty heavily structured around that. Now it's a little less gym time, so it's a little more freed up now that I'm hitting the gym a little less since it's the on season. But yeah.
Nice, man. Well, yeah. I mean, even touching on the gym stuff, like I've noticed the change in your physique a little bit this year. I feel like you've been hitting the gym quite a bit, working hard at that. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, have you been focusing on like getting stronger, losing weight? Like, what is it that you're kind of focused on at the gym right now?
Well, it was a little bit of both. It was kind of it was like I was basically leaning down this winter, so I lost about 15 pounds. I skied last year between 196 and 198, and now I'm right at the 183 mark. So lost quite a bit of weight this off season, and as soon as I couldn't really tell a difference when it was freezing cold outside, but as soon as it started warming up, man, huge difference. Like I'm moving so much faster side to side. Like it's crazy how much difference that makes. Plus being stronger is awesome. My body hurts less after sets. It's just all around made a huge difference.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just the efficiency. Well, I mean, with 0 off, that it reacts to loads on the boat. So I can imagine being lighter and more efficient out there is just a huge help. So that's awesome. Well, let's just talk a little bit about your ski, man. So I think people have, knew you as a D3 guy. They've seen a lot of your videos and your Instagram, and you've always been on D3. And I think last year you moved to the La Pointe ski. So tell us a little bit about that evolution and how that transpired.
Yeah. So 2019 was a good year for me. It started off pretty well. I ran 441, which that was the first time I'd run that at a tournament, which got me qualified for my first Worlds. So that was awesome. And then after Worlds, my favorite ski kind of started breaking down, and I just wasn't. I was in search of a ski, trying to find the next one that I was going to ski on. And Chris Lapointe, I've skied with him for a long time. He's a good family friend, and he came up to me and he was like, hey, I came up with this new ski. I'm gonna have some beginning in November for you to try. And I'm like, awesome. That's right when my last tournament's over. So I started working with him and tried a few different skis over the winter, and we really got it dialed in. And especially with the late start to last year, it gave me lots of time to get comfortable on the ski. And it's really good. It's substantially wider up under the front foot than any other ski on the market, so it's a very easy riding ski. You noticed it right away when you take your first set. It's a lot less pressure on your arms. It's just very, very forgiving ski.
Yeah, no, I actually switched over to the La Pointe this year, as you know, and yeah, I can attest to that. It's very fast, very forgiving, very balanced ski. There's a lot of platform on that front foot, which is weird because the binders on that ski they're not like a traditional ski more traditional skis nowadays where you're at 30 inches or something on your front binder. This ski is a little less, not that far off, but like 28, 29, somewhere in there. So it's an interesting ski because it's a little more, the boots sit a little further back on the tail, but it's still a super fast ski, very stable ski. And
Yeah.
I think that contributes to how much rocker the ski has too,
Yeah.
from what
Well,
Chris has said.
the whole idea Chris had behind this ski is he really wanted to come up with the ultimate zero off ski. I mean, you watch old videos of Wade and Andy and Chris battling on tour where they're putting their shoulder in the water and going hard at the buoys. And with zero off nowadays, you can't do that. It's all about being light on the line, moving through the turn. Stay moving, don't get in deep. So this is kind of a ski that really masks a lot of that. So if you're kind of the person who sometimes gets in deep at the buoys and isn't always the perfect balance skier like Nate or Will Asher, this is like the perfect ski for you because it makes it much easier to stay balanced over your ski because it really supports you in your turns.
Yeah, yeah, no, I've definitely felt that with that ski. So no, it's an amazing ski. And then also on top of that, you get, you know, undoubtedly probably the best ski tuner in the industry, helping you out one on one to get that ski dialed. And then
Yeah,
also, and even before you buy the ski, he's talking to you about like, what speed are you skiing at? How, what do you weigh? Uh, so he kind of tailors these skis to each individual. It's not just an out of the box ski. You're getting a ski that's made basically for you.
yeah, like he doesn't have stock skis. They're all custom made to order skis. So as soon as you say, hey, I want to ski, he'll ask for some video of you, or you'll come over and ski once for him so he can get an understanding of your style, how much you weigh, like where you're at. So he's selling the whole package. He's not just selling the ski and saying, here, figure it out like all the other companies are. He's saying, here is the ski that's going to get it done for you. This is going to be your favorite ski you've ever skied on in your life.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think that's the huge differentiator with the Point skis and some of the other brands out there is that he is truly making you a tailored made ski for you, which is, I mean, whether or not people want to admit it, ski setup and ski performance, or mainly ski setup, is huge. I mean, you could be a 38 off skier, get on a wrong ski, and go instantly to be a 32 off skier.
Yeah.
Or you can get on a really dialed in ski, like the little Point ski, and ski to your potential, and maybe become a mid 39 off skier. So I think that's huge. So
Yeah.
so cool, man. Well, you and I had a conversation the other day about uh, just kind of talking about relating kind of your progression and your evolution to where you're at from when you were early years in college. You kind of explained to me that when you were a freshman in college, you were kind of struggling to get all the way through 35, and then your second year in college, you started making your way through 38. So it brought up a lot of questions for me. Is like, now that you're a 41 off skier, being that you've made two at 43 in practice, and you're making 41 off pretty regularly in practice, and you're getting deep mid 41 at tournaments, like what is it that takes you from that 35 off skier to that, let's say, 39 41 off skier? What is it more lean? Is it being more aggressive? Is it more of a mindset? What is it that takes a skier from that level to the 41 off level?
Well, it's really all about feel. I mean, a lot of the skiers who are at 32 off, 35 off, it's really like they in their mind they've pictured it as there's like the gate, then you're pulling, then you're reaching and turning, and that's really all there is to it. And there's it's slalom is really all about controlling the rope and really understanding where you're at on the court in the course, and just being patient, letting your ski turn before you jump on it. A lot of people just will just turn without any regard for where the rope's at or anything like that. It's all about keeping the rope tight. You watch all these videos of pro skiers and you're like, how in the world did they run that? They were so late. But if you watch, most of the time the rope is tight, and you can make a lot of stuff work with tight rope. You can make 6 bad turns and still run the pass, like as Nate Smith has showed us tons of times. As long as you have tight rope, you can still run the pass no matter what.
Right. It's when you start getting slack and you're having to wait on the boat to tighten the rope is when it becomes difficult, right? Because you're losing down course space, and then you're just late. You're never gonna make that up.
Yeah, you really want to put all the power in your hands. So if you have slack rope, that's basically you're putting it all in the boats and the driver's hands, and you're just like, hey, tighten the rope up for me. I'm ready whenever you are, And then as you're saying that, the boat is constantly going down course, and then all of a sudden you're late.
Right.
Whereas if the rope's tight and you wheelie your ski, you can pull yourself on the front, slam the nose down, and keep going, and you're not that far behind, and you're still in the pass.
Right. No, that's cool. So let's talk about the evolution a little bit. So going from 35, so mid to making 35 in your freshman year, then going to 38. And I guess maybe through all those passes, like 38, 39, then 41. What was like the biggest thing for you that made things start to click? Like, was it that like you touched on the handle and the rope control? Like, what was it for you?
Well, I mean, obviously I grew up with probably 3, 4 of the best coaches you could ever want. I had my mom, my dad, both Hall of Fame skiers, have both held the world slalom record at some point in their life. Lucky Lowe, kind of the same thing. He's been there, done that, and I ski with Chris a little bit before college, not a ton, but a little bit. And they all come from the same school of thinking, which is it's awesome, and like it gave me a super solid foundation from where I am today. But I went to school and kind of got all kinds of new school coaching, which I had never had before. It's all about being light on the line and moving through the turn and counter rotate and stuff that I had never heard before. It's just it's stuff that my parents have told me just in a different way, but it makes it click so much more. You know what I mean?
Right. So it was more just like the reteaching yourself the new school way of running short line, and then applying what the newer, like some of the other coaches or the newer thought of slalom skiing coaches were teaching you, and then going out and kind of applying it and figuring it out for yourself.
Yeah, I did a lot of self-coaching when I was in college. I mean, I went to school with a bunch of very, very talented slalom skiers. There was one point when I was at school where all 5 of the people on our men's slalom team could run 39, which is absolutely incredible. But we didn't always ski at the same time. I like to ski in the morning before I even went to class at 7:30 in the morning, and so there wasn't always a coach there for me. But there was always a boat rider. So I would just hand them my phone and say, here, video this, and I'd go back and compare it to videos of CP or Will or people like that, and I'm just like, hey, what am I doing differently here? How can I make this better? And so it was a lot of self-teaching too. That helped a lot, and really understanding what I was doing wrong, so I could make adjustments during a set. So if I was going downhill in a set, I could say, hey, I'm feeling I'm doing this, and I can save the set and make it a teaching experience and not just a negative experience.
Right. That's awesome. So for skiers that are like that lower level, like I don't want to be like making people feel like they're bad skiers, but like let's just say more of a novice skier. How much of it is self-awareness in the course? Like, do you feel like being very like self-aware in the course of what's going on and being able to react in the course is a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a huge part of it. I mean, it's knowing where you're at in the course just makes your consistency shoot through the roof. Like you
Right.
see, Charlie Ross is an absolutely amazing skier, and he's the youngest kid to ever run 39, but he hasn't quite worked out all his quirks yet. He hasn't skied in enough pro tournaments to know it's about management. Rope management and just staying in the course and giving yourself a shot. Sometimes it's everyone does it. Like, I mean, you watch me the runoff at Swiss Pro. It was I was really tired, and I lost where I was at, missed 39 in the runoff, and it's all mental. You just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot of thinking.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's also a progression of becoming more of a seasoned pro skier and learning how to kind of adapt or react to those situations, right? Like,
Mhm.
you probably know now going into the Swiss Pro next year that you're going to probably save your body a little bit more because there's so many rounds, so next time you'll maybe be a little more fresh or have a little more energy for that last set.
Yeah, well, I think too, that like I haven't been in too many runoffs before, so I wasn't constantly warming up after I ran my score, and I probably should have been, just to stay in it, stay loose, and that was just a learning moment for me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool, man. Well, let me ask you a question. Who, like, from when you got really serious about slalom, uh, who was your kind of like, who did you idolize? Like, who did you want to emulate in the course? And was that a big part of it? Would you go look at one guy all the time and kind of like compare yourself and try to match that person's technique? Like, what was it?
Well, someone I probably looked up to the most, ironically, is probably Chris Parrish, and
Yeah.
he grew up skiing or I grew up going over to Lucky's, and so he was over at Lucky's a lot when I was younger, and so that's where I first met him, and I grew up watching him just dominate and kick everyone's butt, and now I'm competing with him, and is skiing a little bit better than him right now. So that's
Yeah.
pretty humbling right now.
Right.
But
Right.
I watched him a lot. He has you know really good technique. Obviously, he's most of the time he's always in the correct form, and he's got his hips up. He's got great body position behind the boat. That's I find that he and Jeff Rogers, like those are probably the two that I watch the most, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's important you know, to pick a pro athlete or someone that you want to mimic yourself after that's kind of the same stature, right? Like same size, maybe same weight, kind of the same build, because Chris Parrish is a big, tall guy. Um, he's a heavier skier. So trying to emulate yourself after someone that's kind of your same build is important, I think, because they're probably doing things behind the boat or in the course the same way that you would want to do them. And like, if you try to emulate let's say like a smaller skier, a lighter skier, things they get away with and things that they do probably wouldn't relate to what you're going to be able to do in the course. I would
Yeah,
say, to an extent.
I mean, I'm not the most tall person, obviously, on a slalom ski. I'm 6 foot, so I'm kind of like right in the middle of the pack, and but I've always been a little heavier, most of my career. So watching someone who's about the same weight as me is probably, that was like just kind of what I felt was the most important, because the weight is the biggest determining factor in a ski. That's why whenever you buy a ski from a ski company, they're like, hey, how much do you weigh? Because
Yeah.
that's a
Right.
huge factor in what size ski you buy.
Yep. Yep. No, for sure. And you're on a 67?
Yeah, I'm on a 67.
Nice. Okay. Cool, man. All right. Well, Cole, I mean, it was great talking to you, and I wish you the best of luck throughout the finishing the rest of the year. And thanks a lot for talking to us today.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Anytime.
All right, dude.